Send me to Lansing, and I won't owe the Republican Party anything. And I won't owe the Democratic Party anything either. And I won't owe any political action committee anything either, because I don't have any.
Jon grew up on a family farm in Owasso. He's the oldest of 4 children, and they all grew up knowing what hard work was. His dad worked full-time at GM Truck and Bus in Flint, along with running the family farm. He always wanted his children to have it better than he did. I'm sure that's where Jon learned about hard work and self-improvement. When he was just 18 years old, he and one of his friends became the 2 youngest officers ever to graduate from the Michigan Military Academy in Battle Creek. He went on to serve our country for 8 years, first in the infantry and then as a military police officer. Jon believes in leaving things better than the way he finds them. So when he learned about the community project to clean up Ecorse Creek, there he was, up to his waistband in sludge.
I didn't believe that I would ever have the courage to get down right down there in the muck, and I can't believe that Jon Coon is down there up to his armpits and that. And it shows real dedication to the community. I'd like to see Joe Palomero down there cleaning up that creek.
That's Jon. He thinks wherever you go, whatever you do, you should always leave things better than the way you find them, whether it's a hiking trail for the people who follow or a better country for the next generation.
Let me start by asking you a question. I'd like to see a show of hands. How many of you out there are parents? Can I see your hands, please? Okay. How many of you think that your children's future is in jeopardy? How many of you are worried? Can I see a show of hands? How many out there are worried? All right, then I'm not alone. We, you and I, have been privileged to grow up in the greatest, freest, most prosperous nation on earth. And what I want to ensure is that your children and my children inherit the same free and great and prosperous nation that you and I have been privileged to enjoy. Founders of this country never intended a government that would have the power to punish the successful in order to appease the envious. They never intended a government with the power to create success for the greedy. In other words, our founders created a government that was never intended to be all things for all people. I want to give you a couple examples. Just happen to have some excerpts from the state budget here. No, I'm not going to read the whole budget. We don't have that many days. Let's start with the Commerce Department. You might be interested to find out some of the things that are in the Commerce Department budget to start with. How many of you like art? I like art. How many of you are willing to pay for it when you like it? Me too. Millions and millions of dollars come out of our state budget every year to fund art somewhere, because presumably people aren't willing to pay for art. So that's why $5,200 went to the Music Hall Center for the Performing Arts in Detroit. Marquette Arts Council, $7,500. The William Boniface Fine Arts Center, $18,800 in Escanaba. The Michigan Friends of Photography in Royal Oak, real tough times there, $2,500. The Carnegie Center and Council for the Arts in Three Rivers, Michigan, $12,000. Anybody here ever been to Three Rivers? Are they big enough for an arts council? The Storytellers Incorporated, Detroit, $18,800. The Theater Grotesco North America Incorporated, $4,600. Crooked Tree Arts Council in Petoskey, $18,000. The Jewish Ensemble Theater in West Bloomfield, $9,000. Again, the William Boniface Fine Arts Center in Escanaba. Twice, Escanaba? $15,000. Birmingham Bloomfield Art Association. 13.5. We all know how tough it is with Birmingham and Bloomfield. Copper County Commercial Arts Council again in Houghton. $11,600. Again, the Crooked Tree Arts Council in Petoskey, $12,000. Another one in Birmingham, 13.5. Another one in Royal Oak, 14.3. Eisenhower Dance Ensemble in Rochester Hills, $15,000. The Storytellers again. Once wasn't enough. The Storytellers again, Detroit, $25,000. The Theater Grotesco North America Incorporated, again, Detroit, $25,000. But obviously I have no taste for the fine arts, right? Okay, I was born on a farm. Let's go to the ag budget. $2,653,700 to supplement purses, horse racing purses. Oh, that's just the beginning. We couldn't end there. We've already started. Now, $292,200 for the standard bred purses. In addition. Oh, and let's not forget the breeders. Somebody had to breed the horse who won. $1.2 million to the breeders of the horses who win. Standard bred training and stabling, they have to be trained, right? $27,800. The thoroughbred program, this is a yearling show, $1.9 million for them. And let's not forget harness horses. We couldn't leave them out. $800,000 for the winners of harness races. And if you're going to do harness racing, gosh, can we really leave out the draft horses here? $78,000 for the draft horses, and we now have affirmative action in horses, folks, because we have a specific program for Appaloosas and Arabians. $50,000 for them. Oh, and before we get off the ag budget, how about $15,000 for Great Lakes sugar beet growers for a traveling display to explain the impact of row crops to the vitality of the state of Michigan. $10,000 to the Michigan Apple Committee for in-store sampling and media advertising. $10,000 to promote beef as an easy and versatile meal entree. $10,000 to the Michigan Cherry Committee for prizes to the retailer who has the best display on the use of Michigan cherries. And $10,000 to the Michigan Plum Advisory Board to increase consumer awareness of plum juice and plum paste. Very small slice of the budget, folks. And those of you in Southgate just voted on a millage request because they need money for roads, right? I got a deal for you. Why don't you send me to Lansing and I'll see if I can get us some horse racing money to fix the roads. How's that? Feel like you're caught in the middle of a war you can't win? That's where we're at, folks. You jump down on either side of the pressure group politics battle, you're on the wrong side. You're on the wrong side. There's only one way to win. You got to get rid of the whole idea that government can do everything for everybody, because it can't. It can't. We are a nation divided. Not by a war this time, not by geography this time, not north and south this time, but every way you can imagine. White collar versus blue collar, black versus white, teachers versus parents, community versus community, young versus old. We are a nation of special interests, born out of a government that decided it could do all things for all people. Our founding fathers may not have been able to envision the technology we have today. They may not have been able to envision a 747 airliner. They may not have been able to, in their wildest imaginings, envision the entertainment centers that you have in your own living rooms. But what they did know is they knew human behavior. They knew human nature. They knew about greed. They knew about corruption. And those things haven't changed in 200 years. Has human nature changed? If you create a government that can do anything to anyone for anyone, what kind of people does it attract? When you create a government with that sort of power, what kind of leaders will you get? Our founders knew that if that ever happened, they'd be creating fertile ground. And I ask you, have we created fertile ground for power brokers and corruption? How many of you have ever voted Republican before? Can I see your hands? How many of you have ever voted Democrat before? Can I see your hands? Well, that's amazing. That's just amazing. Because I just talked to a group of people who aren't greedy, they aren't envious, they don't want to control their neighbors. All they want to do is work hard, put away as much as they can, live the American dream, and you voted both ways. And this November, two parties are going to spend billions telling you that you're enemies. Aren't they? They're going to spend billions telling you how different you are from the people sitting right beside you now. Just went through the state budget. We can have honest disagreements about what tax dollars ought to be spent for and what they ought not to be spent for. So again, I'll make a deal with you. I don't even want to worry right now about the things that people might be split on. How about if I go to Lansing and take care of some of the things that 90% of the people I talk to say we should not be doing? How about if we get rid of the horse racing budget? How about if we let some artists actually sell some stuff? Is that okay? I don't even want to worry about the things that we disagree on, because there's too many things that we do agree on that aren't getting done. Let's do that first. You can call that my one-time special libertarian introductory offer. Send me to Lansing, and I won't owe the Republican Party anything. And I won't owe the Democratic Party anything either. And I won't owe any political action committee anything either, because I don't have any.
You know, when people ask me why Jon's running here, it reminds me of one of his television interviews where he told the whole viewing audience that he's running here because a woman he cares for lives here.
Why'd you pick that district? Why that area to establish a libertarian beachhead in 1996 for the legislature?
Well, because a young lady who I care very deeply about happens to live in Southgate.
What a wonderful thing to hear. The reality is, my husband would be running for office no matter where we lived.
What do you think about a guy that rolls up his sleeves and gets into there like that?
Well, you gotta give him credit right now.
For a politician, he isn't too bad, huh?
No, that's for sure.
He believes in leaving things better than the way he finds them, whether it's a creek or a country.
If you want to know what to leave our children, look for what's special about America. What is it that makes us different? I think the thing that makes us different is the thing we all carry right here in our heart. The thing that makes America different is freedom. It's that belief in freedom, that undying, unfaltering devotion to freedom. That's what makes our mountains sparkle just a little bit more. It makes our factories produce just a little ahead of everybody else. It makes our entrepreneurs Johnny on the spot with the newest things first before anyone else gets there. And it makes us able, in a country with so many diverse peoples, to live together because we all agree on that one thing. If you want to know what to leave for our children, Leave them the best we have. In the night sky, there's one star up there that doesn't move. One star that never budges. Everything else up there revolves around it. Billions of stars all moving, save one. The North Star never moves. And since this country was born, we've had our own North Star. It's called freedom. Hi, I'm Jon Coon. By now, you've heard me say many times that I don't owe the Republican Party anything, I don't owe the Democratic Party anything, and I don't owe any political action committees anything either because I don't have any PACs. I do, however, owe a great many people. I'd like to thank the thousands of contributors and volunteers who've helped me on my campaign because they think it's time to get some competition in government. I'd like to thank the thousands of voters who I met on my door-to-door campaign. Thanks for your courtesy, for your input, and for your interest in the issues. And thanks to everyone who is willing to show their support by putting up a lawn sign. And finally, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Given the size of the district, it wasn't possible for me to meet face-to-face with everyone. And this is the only way that we could get my message to you. If you, like so many others, think that it's time that we sent someone to Lansing who doesn't owe anyone except the people, if you are as concerned about our future, our children's future, and the future of our state as I am, and if you're tired of two political parties pointing the finger at each other, and if you're ready for genuine change, please vote for me, Jon Coon, on November 5th. Let the historians say that when our leaders on both sides tried to chase after all the moving promises in the sky, tried to take us down that path, that we wouldn't let them, that our eyes found their way back to the guidestone we followed from the beginning. If you wish to know what to leave our children, leave them the best that we have. If you wish to know what to leave them the freedom that you and I inherited. Leave our children their star. Thank you.